Hey everyone, hopefully you're having a good day. My name's Andy. My channel is Finding Value. Today we're going to do our daily technical analysis update of commodities, work our way through the dollar, yields, precious metals, and commodities ETFs that I follow. I'll interject my financial opinions as we go through it, and if you need help with anything, check out finding-value.com. That's where I dive deeper into these sectors looking for potential investment opportunities. I share all that and my opinions with everyone in the community there. We do have a discount going on. May Day coupon code is still active. 50% off the first month to try it out. It's only the first month that's 50% off. And we've got a larger discount on the yearly membership if anyone wants to switch to the yearly membership from a monthly or sign up directly to a yearly membership. Let's dive in. Let's take a look and see what's going on today. We're going to start with the dollar, and the dollar is staying robust. We are still strong with the dollar here. We are consolidating just underneath this long-term resistance line, just underneath it. And the dollar, again, this is a relative strength movement or indicator of the dollar versus other currencies. When this goes up, it's stronger than those other currencies it's being measured against. And then the currency strength generally comes from interest rate or monetary policies. And a strong monetary policy generally results in a stronger currency, depending on what those other guys are doing with their monetary policies and their currencies. But right now, that still looks really strong. It looks like we're consolidating just underneath that resistance level, and we'll see which direction it breaks here. Yields are split today. We've got the 2-year going up, up, and that momentum is still looking good for a higher move. And then the 10-year, we're down a little bit, but again, this looks good to go higher. That momentum is still coming on up. We've got a nice big bullish engulfing candlestick and two small candlesticks within it that generally goes up. It's still favorable momentum upwards, but we are heading into a lot of resistance above us. We'll have to see if that resistance is there, how the strength is going to interact with that resistance, and if we're going to roll over at resistance. The 30-year is above all of its resistance, which is now support. We've got support coming across here and a support coming above. We're sitting on top of it. We've got a nice gigantic green candlestick and small pressure coming down, which makes me think we want to bounce higher, not lower. PYX TNX ratio continuing to fall. That generally has not been a tailwind behind precious metals. The curve inverting, that is. And we are at a very, very low level. We've been at this low level for a long time, since early 2022. So the curve's inverted. It's staying inverted. Gold generally does real well when this uninverts and comes back up. But right now, we are staying inverted. Bond prices are up a little bit with the yields dropping. And we are at this general resistance area downtrend here that we are above. And we'll see where this goes, because we also have resistance above us as well going across horizontally. So we're kind of stuck in this buyers, sellers area here, which is going to be support if you're coming back this way through it. So it's support here. That's why we're bouncing right where we're at. The question is support going to hold? Is this going to be an angled upward pattern that we eventually break downward, or do we come and break on out? And that's what we're watching real time here. We got the 2 and 10, the 2 and 10 inverting. This is some weird market conditions, guys. I have to admit, this is really weird. We've got this inversion. We inverted here, bam, came all the way up, and it's like they're holding this inversion forever somehow. And maybe that has something to do with how many 2-year or short end bonds they're releasing versus the long end. But this is starting to reinvert again, where we stay inverted. Now, one thing you want to do is you want to put the unemployment rate underneath it and compare. And the unemployment rate, generally when you get an inversion coming down and the unemployment rate going up, that's when problems generally occur. A slowdown, a recession, stock market pulling back. Right now, I don't know if they're manipulating these numbers too or what, but the unemployment rate's been dropping, and we've been reinverting the curve, which is surprising to say the least. We've got gold. Gold is down 0.5% or so. We still have this big selling pressure move lower. That momentum is still in play. We have not reversed that momentum yet, and we could very easily roll over here. We've got silver down a little bit. Again, that momentum is still to the downside. I don't see this reversing yet, but we are above a gaggle load of support everywhere below us. We've got lots of support coming here at about 29.50. We've got even more support down here at 25.26 if it decides to go that low. Platinum down 2.2%. We are still making a higher low if it holds somewhere in the general region here. But we haven't broken through that downtrend line, which is acting as big resistance. Obviously, nobody wants this to break through that are regular people, because that means inflation is running. So I'm sure there are motivations by some people to try to hold this downward. And that also correlates with the unemployment rate, the yield curve uninverting and not uninverting, yields, and all of those things. They are all interconnected. Palladium also heading a little bit lower. We're back to the support level down here at about 990, right where it's at. That's what it looks like here. We got support that we kind of broke through there. We've got another support level coming through here, and that's coming from the big long-term trend line coming through here. I probably did that logarithmic. There you go. Logarithmic, and we were coming and hitting that. GDX down a little bit. We're not getting these huge selling pressure days, which is really weird. We gapped it lower, but it came back up, and we're kind of hanging out there, which is a little bit weird, which means they did it pre-market. Somebody did it pre-market. GDXJ also above support still. There's the support level going across here. Everything looks okay. As far as I can tell, we're holding on, and we're just barely moving down in a slow consolidation move. Still J down a little bit too, still above this support level here, going across. We've got XAU to gold ratio, so the gold and silver mining company is coming down a little bit against gold, but it's still above the long-term support trend line here. And we haven't really fallen off a cliff. It's just small little red candlesticks, which generally indicates a move higher. We've just been consolidating after that breakout. Crude oil down about 2.8%, 2.7%, somewhere in that range. We're at resistance. We're trying to break through it to the upside. We have not been able to do that yet. We do have a little bit of a larger down candlestick today, and we'll see if there's any follow through to the downside for oil. TTF gas up 1.83%. The uptrend is still intact. We've got natural gas down 0.93, right at resistance, and we're just underneath it. This still has a bullish formation with this big bullish engulfing and then the squeezing up next to it. That still looks like it wants to break to the upside. Our boy XOP, yeah, you know me. Now this is where it gets real funky. We've got XOP up 0.7% with a nice formation candlestick that looks like it wants to go higher. But we've got crude oil that's down 2.71%. So crude is down, but yet people are positioning in XOP. And I know natural gas was down a little bit, but what's going on here? Is this a precursor to a potential move higher in oil? It very well could be. Very well could be. And there's a downtrend there that we've also broken to the upside, which is interesting to say the least. We've got OIH, another one that looks pretty good still. We've got small consolidation candlesticks next to a big green upward move that generally works its way on up. We are at resistance. The resistance going across here, and we'll see if we can break through it. Newcastle Coal Futures up 0.8%. That still looks good to break higher. We've been coming back off resistance here to a higher low, and hopefully we can turn it, move on up. Sprott Physical Uranium Trust continuing to head lower, down 2%. Momentum is still downward. and that is still the case at this time. Uranium futures pricing continuing lower, and that looks like it wants to dive bomb lower to maybe $64, $65 a pound. So that looks a little bit on the weaker side. We've got URA, which is down a little bit today, right on support. We've got URNM down a little bit. We've broken this downtrend line, so we'll see if that's just a retest. And then URNJ down a little bit too. And these don't look that bad. They don't look that bad at all. Copper down 2.6%. We're getting a lot of volatility here. Look at how big these candlesticks are. Lots of volatility going on after that election. Big move lower, big move up, big move lower. We'll see where it goes. We need to calm down. COPX down 5%. That had a big 6% move yesterday, and it's down almost to where it was before. We've got iron ore holding steady, which is good. Just trading sideways there. Still above a lot of support. Still looks good for a move higher, in my opinion, when looking at the candlesticks and the formations that we've got there. Aluminum down 2.8%. We're still at that stupid resistance level, and it looks like it wants to stay there, I guess. So we'll see what happens. Again, we're just waiting for the breakout of this channel that we're in, basically trying to break on out. Nickel up 2.11%. Looks like it's trying to put in a bottom here, right at support. So we'll see if we can get some movement upward. Mu down 1.4%. We're still above all that support. Still looks good. And that's coming after a fallen wedge. Maybe a potential move higher. Emerging markets getting hit. I think we had stronger dollar today and a little bit stronger yields, depending on which one you're looking at. But that sold off 2.5%, back more closer to support. KRE up 0.5%, still looking okay. Big move up, and it's consolidating sideways. Falling wedge, something like that. TAN down 4%. I have a feeling that this is probably not going to get much. It's not going to get as much love with Trump in presidency. I think that's the way people are thinking. Lithium down 2.3%, right against that resistance support area. We're right on top of it, looking for a potential breakout. We've got REMX also down right at that resistance level. We're right on top of it. You could say that's almost a retest move, but we'll see. We'll see if we get some follow through to the upside. Baltic Dry Index up 1.7%, looking like it's trying to put in a bottom here, eventually work its way on up. We've got XHB continuing higher right at resistance, right underneath, and we'll see if we can punch through it or if we're going to roll on over. So we got a lot of stuff that we're watching here that we're kind of mixed on, and I think this is being driven by interest rates. But I will say this fell pretty quick, and it's coming up pretty slow. So that generally could be an indicator that we could roll over. Russell 2000 continuing higher. These have just all been just ripping. We've got the S&P 500 up. We'll see if we roll over or if it continues to go. And then the NASDAQ also way up there. The slingshot past 3 days. 4 days, I should say. 1, 2, 3, and then today is a compressed candlestick. SMCI continuing lower. That doesn't look any good. NVIDIA down a little bit, down 0.83%, but it's holding in there. Bitcoin up, and that still looks real good for maybe a potential move higher because we've broken out of this pattern to the upside. Big old pattern. And we got Ethereum up 1%. A little wick at the top. We're losing some momentum too. That's why the opening and closing prices are contracting together. That's one of the things I look at. So you could see a consolidation here for a rollover. And then the VIX continues to head lower, surprisingly. I wonder if we have any other setups in history like this, where we're there could be one right here. Came there, then we came back and pressed down. There's a couple in history where we were coming on up and then they compressed it lower. But that's what I've got for today, guys. Give me a thumb up for the content. Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the website if you'd like. Got that Mayday coupon code. We got a question and answer session coming up Saturday, 7 a.m. If you want to attend, those are recorded and loaded onto the website. You can see everything after the fact. And I think that's all I've got for today. So we'll catch you next time, guys. Catch you later.